Hi, how you doing? Right, astrology for the next week. It is at the moment Sunday the 26th of April. We'll look at what's going on between now and next weekend, next Friday the 1st of May. Go cracking on through the are we not? But right now, Sunday 26th of April, the moon is in Gemini at the moment, and she is coming up to 10% full. She's about 9.6% full as I'm doing this, and that means that it's a great time to start actually launching things and putting ideas into practice that you've been coming up with since the new moon. The new moon brings a lot of inspiration actually, but there's very little lunar energy behind everything, so things aren't likely to take off all that well until we can see her visible in the sky, and because it's all about the light reflected from the sun. That's what it's all about. So the moon is getting quite powerful now. Great time for launches, that kind of thing. This weekend and in the next few days and next week, most certainly. So that Gemini moon, excuse me, brings sociability. People are more cheerful. It's kind of outgoing. It's reaching out. It's really positive in that way. It does mean things are kind of quite changeable though, and things can get a bit scattered. So it's not so much keep it real as kind of keep things organised in some way. Have a plan if you possibly can. That's the best way to get the most out of the Gemini moon. And that is with us right through until, let me see, tomorrow actually. The moon is going to end at Cancer on Monday the 27th. That's going to be 10:28 a.m. Pacific, 1:28 p.m. Eastern. Here in the UK, that's going to be, let me see, at least 6:28 p.m. So it's not till much later tomorrow here. But the Cancer influence is coming in. Things change, things get a little bit kind of more tight, a little bit closer to home in terms of the influence that's going on. But that is just the way it goes, really. It's always a cycle. There is a lot of compassion under Cancer, but the sign keeps on changing, and it's not too long until we get the moon in Leo. That is actually coming up on Wednesday the 29th, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, and actually just into Thursday the 30th here in UK. We'll get that Leo moon, and things are a bit more out there again, in a different way to the way they're out there right now under Gemini, but they're definitely out there. First quarter comes in on also the 30th of April, Thursday the 30th. That is going to be 9:38 p.m. UK time, so 8 hours before that Pacific, 5 hours before that Eastern. And today's alignments, just as we're going into next week, we've got the Sun conjunct Uranus at the moment. Innovation, progress, quick thinking, willingness to accept new conditions. Actually, it's not a bad time, and this is part of why I was saying it's a good time for launching things. People are willing to accept newness. People are willing to accept change. Not everyone, perhaps. You've got to gauge it. You've got to be careful how you present things to certain people, because it's always different strokes for different folks, is it not? But good conditions, really. The only thing, you can get some upsets happening. You can get sudden things that just don't help, radical proposals that kind of change the way we see things. A fair bit of controversy is possible, but generally speaking, it's about newness, it's about firsts, and it's quite positive. It's just that a conjunct is not as nice and easy as a sextile. It's not as nice and easy as a trine, but it is powerful. It's a major aspect, and it's happening. The moon is also in a conjunct today, and she is conjunct Venus. Now that kind of emotionally enhances communication between people. So actually romantically it could be a good time. I know we're not exactly going out and meeting new people at the moment, are we, wherever we are in the world? But it's really positive for talking. So, make use of the internet. Make your intentions known. Keep on talking to people, because one blessing in all the craziness that's going on at the moment is that we can talk to each other online and we can still make things happen. More in a kind of quiet, kind of almost a hidden way, but things are going to change for the better. We are going to be getting out again at some point, and then things are going to improve. So we might as well keep life ticking over. That's the truth. Okay, Mercury void in Aries today, so nervous energy is quite high. Schedules possibly going to fall apart. Now, we're not looking at a lot of people getting involved with travel and transport at the moment. But, if you're going out somewhere, maybe you're going to the shops, maybe you've got something essential to do, plan your journeys carefully. Now, this is actually setting the scene for next week. You know, everything that we see here is an applying aspect. It's things coming in. So let's have a look what happens as we go through the week. As I was saying, Moon in Cancer tomorrow, Monday. Moon in Leo on Wednesday. Now, also on Wednesday, Pallas enters Aquarius. Now, Pallas is one of the asteroids. She is the kind of the second of the asteroids to have been discovered in modern times. She's the goddess of wisdom. She's also the goddess of self-defense. Now, those two things do actually go together very well indeed, if you ask me. In the mythology of Pallas, she kind of sprang out fully formed and fully armed for her kind of self-defense thing, made from the head of her father, the King of Heaven, by all accounts. It's also kind of has a lot to do with what you might call artisanal sort of crafts like baking, particularly, let me see, the art of weaving, and Pallas's symbol is the wise owl, so there's a great deal of wisdom around. And so as we look at Pallas entering Aquarius, we get the Aquarian traits kind of joining in with that, kind of making things happen in that way as well. So that is going to be, let me see, that is actually going to be on Wednesday. That is 5:29 p.m. Pacific, 8:29 p.m. Eastern, so 9, 10, 11, 12, 1:29 a.m. on Thursday here in the UK. And the other thing we've got is, and it's coming up this next week or so, and I can't find it on my chart. Let me just find it on my chart so I know what I'm actually doing here. Can't find it anywhere. Isn't that wonderful? No, can't see it. But Mercury is active all this week, basically. And I had this on my tablet a second ago. Let me just look. Mercury square Saturn. That is coming up later in the week. I'm sorry, I've lost the date. Can't see it anywhere. But this kind of brings up challenges that need to be overcome. But hopefully Pallas being active and being in Aquarius, that is going to allow a certain kind of flow to things, particularly the wisdom flowing. So that is going to be making Mercury square Saturn a great deal easier. Okay, and then when we actually get to Thursday, Moon in Leo, and that brings us, of course, to Friday, and the Moon is going to enter Scorpio, Leo, Virgo, sorry, the Moon, I got the same looking symbol and I got mixed up there. The Moon is going to enter Virgo. That is going to be 10:35 p.m. Eastern on Friday the 1st. It's going to be just into Saturday Eastern and just into Saturday here in UK too. But I will be back on Friday with a look at all the other stuff that's going on, with a look at the weekend astrology. So keep it here, be informed. More readings coming up in the next week or so as well. I'm going to start my zodiac cycle. We'll do kind of Aries, Taurus and Gemini at the very least in terms of tarot readings next week. So we'll find out what the kind of mystical, what the hidden wisdom is, if you like, the apocryphal wisdom behind Aries, Taurus and Gemini as we go through the next week. Maybe even into Cancer, Leo, Virgo, who knows? It depends on my internet connection, folks, but I seem to have one now, and if you're watching this, I must have got connected today. So keep yourself connected, okay? Have a fantastic week ahead, and I'll see you again very soon. Peace.